Despite how much genuine entertainment I got from the last episode, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hesitant going into this episode. Since I've been analyzing Power Rangers, it's been very difficult for me to tell whether or not a particular season can capitalize on its own momentum. Don't get me wrong, sometimes a season can succeed with producing a whole string of good episodes, but based on Ninja Steel's track record, I don't see that happening here. Still, the last episode did succeed at getting me invested in the season plot, so maybe I am being too negative and should just enjoy the good episodes while we have them. So let's see if this episode can be another mark in the win column as we look at episode 12, Family Fusion. The episode opens with Ripcon meeting Aiden in secret, with Aiden saying that he needs the General's help to destroy the Rangers. Though Ripcon is taken aback by the request, he agrees to cause a distraction so that Aiden can find the Rangers' base after being promised that he can hand Galvanex the Ninja Steel personally. Ripcon tells Aiden to keep their alliance a secret since there are traitors everywhere, which amuses Madamodius, who appears after Ripcon leaves. At the high school, everyone's getting ready for the talent show, with Calvin saying that Presto Changeo will be performing and asking Levi if he'll be in the show as well, but the country singer declines, saying he'll have fun watching. Which I guess makes sense, the guy is a professional musician, so maybe he just thought it wouldn't be fair. Aiden says that he and Brody will be singing a song their dad wrote when they were kids, and as the two leave, Aiden scowls, cause, you know, he's evil now and stuff. Victor and Monty, meanwhile, are complaining that Victor can't do his Matador act for the talent show because the school won't let him bring a bull into the building, which is such a ridiculous line of dialogue that I love it. As the duo try to figure out what to do, they see Preston practicing with his hat, and decide to steal it after the teens are called away by Mick so they can perform magic for the show. However, before the two can take the hat, they're sucked into it by magic and are soon attacked by a giant bunny. Back with the Rangers, the team tells Brody that Ripcon's attacking the city, so the teens go off to face Ripcon while Levi and Mick head to shop class so they can add gold energy to the new Ninja Fusion Star, which combines the powers of all 6 Power Stars. However, Aiden secretly follows the two, seeing the secret entrance into the base, while the other Rangers morph into action to beat on some Basher bots. Brody soon breaks off from the Bashers to take on Ripcon in yet another duel, with the kind of intensity that should have been present the first time these guys fought. Preston gives Brody his sword to assist in Ripcon's defeat, but though the Red Ranger throws his best shot at Ripcon, the General just shakes it off. Back at shop class, Mick and Levi put the finishing touches on the Fusion Star, with the Gold Ranger going outside to throw the star to Brody, but while he's gone, Aiden comes in to quickly neutralize Mick and Redbot, getting his hands on the Ninja Steel. At that point, Levi walks back in, having forgotten his Gold Star, so Aiden tries to neutralize him as well, while Brody in the meantime uses the Fusion Star in a scene way too similar to one in Samurai. With the star's power, Brody forces Ripcon to retreat, but as the team heads back to shop class, Levi makes a shocking discovery.
You're some kind of cyborg.
You have no chance against me.
Aiden! He's a robot! Do something!
I have no idea what any of that was, but it was cool. Robo Aiden explodes, which shakes Brody to his core, or I think that's what's going on with that facial expression, and Levi explains that he caught the robot trying to take the Ninja Steel. Cut to the ship where Galvanex is yelling at Ripcon, having been told by Madamodius that Ripcon sent a robot to take the Ninja Steel, and was the one who held the Gold Ranger captive on the ship. Oh yeah, he was wondering about that in that one scene 4 episodes ago. Ripcon says that Odious is lying, calling her the traitor, but Galvanex tells Ripcon he has one last chance to defeat the Rangers, and orders Cosmo Royale to gigantify the General. Cosmo does so, throwing in some Skull Gators for good measure, while at shop class, Brody questions how a robot could have had all his brother's memories. The Rangers then catch wind of the monster activity in the city, so they quickly call their Megazords, with Brody vowing to take down Ripcon for good. During the fight, the Rangers make quick work of the Skull Gators, but their remains form into a sword that Ripcon uses to beat the team down. Brody then uses the power of the Fusion Star to combine all the Ranger Zords together to form the new Fusion Megazord. The new Megazord is powerful enough to not only turn Ripcon's sword back into Skull Gators, but it then finishes all 3 monsters with ease. That's right, Ripcon, who's been Brody's main rival throughout the season, is defeated halfway through season 1 when we still have a full season of the show to get through. That's odd. After the fight, Preston is seen performing at the talent show, but as he tries to pull a bunny from his hat, he pulls out Monty instead. Preston is able to get his bunny after Monty pulls Victor out of the hat, but as soon as the two see it, they run off in fear. Levi walks off needing some air while Preston introduces Brody, who still goes on stage to sing as a way to make his brother proud wherever he is. As Brody sings though, Levi flashes back to his time on Galvanex's ship, revealing that he is in fact Aiden and that Madamodius stole his childhood memories to put into the robot, while he forgot everything. Levi then remembers his family's family song and goes on stage to sing it with Brody, much to the joy of the Red Ranger. Later, Levi tells the others what happened, and we finally get an explanation for that whole country singer thing.
So when did you change your name to Levi Weston?
Well, Dad told me to hide, so I changed my name to make sure I couldn't be found. Then my music caught on, and pretty soon, everyone knew who Levi Weston was. I was hiding in plain sight.
Well, alright, that's not a terrible excuse, it's actually kinda neat. To my knowledge, Power Rangers has never introduced a Ranger only to change their name later, so this is totally new territory for this show.
How are we going to explain that Brody got kidnapped by a space alien, and Aiden went into hiding and changed his name?
Maybe we don't bring any of that up and just keep calling you Levi?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Explain? Explain to who? All you guys are sitting there around the campfire. Are we just not gonna mention that any of this happened? Ah, screw it, I'm just gonna call the guy Leave Aiden from now on. Regardless, the brothers express happiness since they're finally together after 10 years, and the episode ends with everyone singing Brody's song around the campfire. This episode is a bit weird for me to judge. It's certainly a landmark episode with 2 major season developments occurring, but I don't know if it really earns those moments. First, we have the defeat of Ripcon, which is way too early in my opinion. Granted, it's not as rushed as the Troy and Creepox feud, but we're still killing the guy halfway through the first season of a 2-season story. In fact, Ripcon goes out the exact same way that Creepox did, since he was also tricked by another general to face off against the Red Ranger again, and the Rangers even defeated him by combining all their Zords together. I mean, it's like copy and paste, which is even weirder when you consider that this was written by a different team. Side note, why would Galvanax just believe that Ripcon was the traitor when the show hasn't even hinted that Madame Odious is slowly manipulating him into turning on Ripcon? Also, what the heck was her plan exactly? She kidnaps Leave Aiden so she can put his memories into a robot, so said robot can then get close enough to the Rangers to take the Ninja Steel, but then what? She couldn't have been planning to give the Ninja Steel to Galvanax, otherwise she would have told him about her plan. So was she planning on keeping the Ninja Steel for herself, or was this whole thing just a long and complicated ploy to get rid of Ripcon? I don't know, but there is a possibility that we'll find out later, so I'll put a pin in that for now. And then there's the Leave Aiden thing, which I was totally on board with for most of the episode, but then we get to the end and the show decides to ignore it for basically no reason. And I get it, they introduced the Gold Ranger as Levi and don't want to confuse the kids by suddenly changing his name, but the way the episode talks about it feels like the entire Gold Ranger story arc was completely pointless, and all you really need to know is that Levi's Brody's brother, and now Ripcon's dead. Fantastic. Still, this is a legitimately good episode, so let's stop focusing on the season implications for a minute and just talk about the episode as a standalone piece. As I said earlier, I was on board with the Leave Aiden plot at first, and it was a pretty tense scene when Levi was fighting Aiden over the Ninja Steel. I was also taken aback by how well Leave Aiden's story arc ultimately fit in continuity with the show, fixing a major flaw that I had with episode 8. Though the plot does start to go downhill in the second half, not only because of the campfire scene, but also because of Brody's reaction to finding out the person he thought was his brother actually turned out to be a robot. Don't get me wrong, William Schufeld is trying, but anytime he tries to emote, it either looks like he doesn't know how, or he just looks bored. That could be the fault of the director as well, but either way, it was distracting to say the least. Still, Leave Aiden does come in to save the scene at the talent show, and Brody had a pretty good fight scene with Ripcon, if nothing else. Overall, this is still a good episode, despite all the negatives I've brought up in this review. By itself, the episode does a decent enough job with action, character, and story for me to recommend it, though I still feel that the end of Ripcon was too early, and it does bother me that the show is gonna ignore what at this point has been the major season story arc. But those are more of a critique of the season as a whole, and not how this episode presents the developments. I'm Nick, aka IronBet1993, and may the power protect you. Please subscribe for reviews of Ninja Steel, episode reviews. Also check out Dino Charge reviews too, episode reviews. Also there's Ninjago, which has reviews too. Go! Please subscribe.